Okay, so now I'd like to go over a couple op-amp problems that have AC-like inputs, because I feel that in 101 and 201 maybe you haven't had this. So first of all, triangular wave, it's a simplified version of a sine wave. So think of sine but linearized here. So if it's 5 hertz, that means every 200 milliseconds, so the period here is 200 milliseconds because it's 5 hertz, right? 10 hertz would be 100 milliseconds. Oops, I answer this question here so that I can answer it again in class maybe. So non-inverting amplifier, the gain of a non-inverting amplifier is 1 plus RF over RI. So the gain here will be 3. RF is 20K, RI is 10, so it's 2 plus 1, 3. So I'm expecting V out to be always 3 times V in. But now the question is, what's V in? So I know that I'm just going to multiply by 3 whatever I find on the input. And this is a triangular wave. So I know usually triangular waves are just like, think of a sine wave, but simpler. And in this case, this would have been 200 milliseconds. But there are several changes to this one. First of all, there's 2 volts offset and this 2 volts peak, which means really, first of all, it's going to be up by 2 volts. So that means the 0 goes to 2 volts now. But there's also a shift in phase. It's pi over 2. That means when I start time at 0, this is already at 90 degrees. It's over there. And because it's 2 volts and it's 2 volts peak, that means it mostly goes down to 0, mostly. The lowest that it goes is to 0. And my 0 is shifted now. It's 2 and it goes to 4 and goes to 0. So it's between 4 and 0 every 200 milliseconds. So this is 100, this is 200, this is 300, and this is 400. And it's asking right now at 300. So is it really? At 300 milliseconds, this is 0. And therefore, V out will be 0. That's very unfortunate. But now let's do V out of, for example, 350. So at 350, let me see if I have a thinner, do I have a thinner pen? What happens is at 300 I am at 0, and at 400 I am already at 4. So at 350 I am halfway there. So V in at 350 is 2 volts. So V out, I am just multiplying at 350. I'm going to multiply the 2 by 3 and it's going to be 6 volts. So let me add this here. Now in the next video I'm going to solve this second problem, which is a comparator.